So if you live in a hot southern state and you're considering upgrading your water heater anytime soon, stick around. So I noticed that my water heater was starting to leak about a few weeks ago. So bad that water was starting to get into here, into the insulation. It was driving my electrical bill up. I could actually watch my electrical bill on a day-to-day basis. Actually, I can get down to an hour-by-hour basis. I was not joking. It was getting really bad. Everybody kept saying, go tankless, go tankless. Well, the reality of it is, down south or anywhere it's really warm, the hybrid water heaters, are also known as heat pump water heaters, are the absolute most efficient. They actually will beat out a tankless water heater. This upfront cost is what gets a lot of people though. However, I picked mine up brand spanking new off of Facebook Marketplace. Yes, it did have that green tab up here. I cut it off to make sure that it was legit. Picked it up for $500. And yes, it is a 22 model year. So I went from this little rinky-dink thing over to this big boy. Now, the water tank ends here. I'll explain this part in a minute. So when the old unit was at its most efficient, it was $411 a year. Now, the insulation was wet. Everything was covered in water. It's lost its efficiency over the year. This is the efficiency of the new unit. That's what it's going to cost me per year. Now, here, this top unit right here, this is basically the same concept as an AC unit, or known as a heat pump. It pulls heat out of the air, puts it into the water, and then pushes cold air out the side over here. So it actually has a multi-purpose effect. It cools your garage also on top of heating your water. Now, I really wish I would have recorded installing this, but I was trying to see how fast I could install a new water heater. It took me 1 hour and 2 minutes from the moment I cut the old one out to the moment that I started putting water into the new one. You can go ahead and add an extra 10 minutes on, because I did have to come back and add these two, because I did not realize to be up to code, because it's a bottom fill water heater, it had to have this on there. It's an anti-vacuum piece or something. And this tank right here helps with back pressure if there's ever a check valve somewhere in the system. So I don't know if we do or don't have it. Either way, I was told it's good to have it. So I spent in total $500 on the water heater, an additional $300 on everything else, saving myself at least probably $2,500. I'm sure some plumber's gonna give me a ton of shit because I did use shark bites. So far, no leaks, but I did watch a ton of videos on how to properly install these before I ever did them. And as you can see, I do have my permanent marker right there. So that way I was getting the correct depth on pushing it into there. Now I did have to have a drain right here. You will have to have a drain somewhere nearby because this little top part will put off condensation. But I highly recommend this unit for anybody that has a home down south that has their water heater in the garage.